Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Dhimas Aryo Wibowo and my student number 97. Today I will present my research proposal, and my research proposal have title The Psychological Analysis of Awan Case Motivation in Struggle to Survive His Life in Movie in the Heart of the Sea. Why I choose the title? When because my experience when watching the movie, I feel so interested in the motivation of Awan Case, because Awan Case have a big motivation in struggle and survive his life from big problem. Okay, we go to the next slide. The next slide is the diagram about our content today. The first is introduction, and then the second literature review, and the third is research method. Okay, in the first we will discuss about introduction. In introduction, the first discussion is background. In background, we will discuss about literature, movie, and character. The correlation between the literature, movie, and a character. Literature is one of art that have value in the beauty of writing. According to Wihammer, literature work can define be two kind. It is fiction and non-fiction. Fiction is the literature work based on the real life. Fiction is the literature work that based on imagination of someone, and non-fiction is the literature work that based on a book or real life. Okay, movie based on Ahmad 2010 said that movie is one of literature work that present the text become a visual communication, moving image or video and sound. From watching movie, we can bring a lot of lesson that cannot reach in our life. Through the movie, we can learn about the event in the past, present, or future. And then the most important in movie is character. Character be the one important aspect of movie. According to Fauzia, character is one of important thing in movie or other literature work, that the character bring the message of the movie that will be present on the reader to get the value of human life, like education, morality, and other aspects. And then the story of movie focus on the main character. The main character of the movie is Owen Case. The movie In the Heart of the Sea, drawing the struggle and the motivation of Owen Case. From this movie, we get some moral value, like we must never give up to reach the goal. And then, based on the statement above, we get problem statement. There are three problem statement of this research. The first is what is Awan Case motivation to struggle and survive his life, and then the second, how the process of Awan Case in struggle to survive his life, and then why motivation can influence Awan Case in struggle to survive his life. And then the third is objective study. The first is to identify the motivation of Awan Case in struggle to survive his life, and then the second to describe the process of Awan Case in struggle to survive his life, and the third to explain why motivation can influence Awan Case in struggle to survive his life. Okay, the fourth material of introduction is advantage of the study. In advantage of the study, there are 2 points. It is the theoretical benefit and practical benefit. Theoretical benefit. In theoretical benefit, the researcher have some hope that the study can bring new knowledge about movie, literature, psychological, and characteristic, and it will be as a reference. And then the practical benefit. The second is practical benefit. In this in this part, the author has some expectation that the study can bring more benefit from other researcher or student or everyone that want to focus in the study of literature, mainly in the topic of the psychological analysis by using the theory motivation by Abraham Maslow. And then we go to the second content. It is about literature review. In literature review, the first is there are previous study. In this research, there are 11 11 previous journal that relate with the research. Okay, I will read maybe three example of this journal. The first study is the article by Jajat Sudrajat from Universitas Negeri Semarang. This article is discussed about the one of Ernest Hemingway novel. It is tell about the old man that have named Santiago. This novel focuses on the Santiago motivation in survive his life. And then the second study is this article by Yosef Bani Ahmad from UIN Jakarta. The author of this article have purpose to find out the characteristic of Evan Tyler as the main character. And then the last example on the third is the article by Paranias Falsafi and then Somaye Korsafi Korshal Lausi Korsafi Korshal from Islamic Azad University Central Tehran branch Iran. This article want to find out the suspense and presentiment with method of analytic and descriptive. Okay, maybe I will bonus the fourth. The fourth study is the article by Nika De Jenny Lestari, Ida Ayumade Puspani, and Iwayan Resen from Udayana University. The purpose of this article is to identify the factor of psychological in the main character in Frozen movie. To analyze it, the author used psychological approach to identify the psychology and the conflict that faced by main character. So, I think all of my previous study very relate with my research proposal. Okay, we go to the second material. It is about the notion of academic theory. The first is the notion of psychology and literature. Psychology and literature have very close relationship because Papalia also said that psychology and literature is the two elements that cannot be separated. Psychology as a tool to analyze the literature work. So, psychology and literature cannot be separated. And then the notion of motivation. Motivation is human feeling to complete something. Kalis 1973 presented that motivation behavior is a system of human need. It is rise because the human feel of dissatisfaction and which influence the human system to doing or to repair to make it satisfying. And then the notion of movie. The notion of movie is a literature work that movie is a literature work of videography or visual. Robert 2007 also said that movie is an art of videography that combine other elements such as music, text, and then expression, moving, and etc. And then third of the material is about basic assumption of the theory. The story of this movie that I have titled In the Heart of the Sea, it is the topic of the movie very relate to analyze with using the theory motivation by Abraham Maslow. And then the fourth is theoretical framework. The theoretical framework, the first there are the element of the movie. The element of the movie there are character, setting, plot, and theme. Character is the main element of movie. Character is the people that have role in deliver the message of movie or novel to the leader. to the reader or some audience. And then setting means that the part of showing the time and place that happen in the movie on or literature work or other literature work. And then plot similar with setting. Plot is part of movie that explain the story of movie, is more detailed, but plot and setting is the sequence of event that experienced by the each character. According to Kenny, plot there are two kind. It is plausibility, surprise, and suspense. And then the last is about theme. Theme is the main topic that will that discuss on this literature work. And then we go to the second material of theoretical framework. It is about motivation by Abraham Maslow. Uh, Maslow said that Maslow said that a lot of people doing some activity to fulfill their need. He explained that motivation created from the human need to reach satisfied. After he success to fill their need, they go to the higher level needs. It is that influence the motivation of human. It is the definition of motivation by Abraham Maslow. And then Abraham Maslow, and then the third is aspect of human being need by Abraham Maslow. Abraham Maslow provide three aspects of motivation of someone. It is about psychology. It is psychological needs, the safety need, the belonging need, the esteem need, and the self-actualization needs. Okay, we go to the last content. It is about research method. The first is the type of the study. The type of the study in this article discuss about psychological approach. So, the author, or in this research, we use descriptive qualitative to analyze the movie. And then time and location. The time of this research doing by September, and the location of the study at home, because nowadays we got pandemic, so the process of created some research proposal doing by online. And then the object of the study, this article use conversation between the main character and other character. And not only that, in the object of the study, the researcher used the uterine or the sentence of the character that found in the movie In the Heart of the Sea. The author focused on the main character motivation in survive his life and fight with a big problem. And then the fourth is method of collecting data. In the method of collecting data, the researchers use documentation method. And the type of the data, there are the primary data and secondary data. In primary data, the data come from the movie. It is in the heart of the sea, in the heart of the sea. And the secondary data is the other journal or the other previous journal from the internet. And then technique of collecting data depend on the statement of Mills and Huberman. They said that theory of qualitative data analysis, the author explained the data more intensively and created the data become interactively and easily to understand by the reader. And technique of collecting data, in technique of collecting data, there are many steps in technique collecting data. It is the first is watching the movie until understand, and then the two selecting and writing the important point of the movie, and then the third take the picture and the dialogue which support the main character motivation with fight danger, and then the fourth is analyze and identify the data that have been found, and then the last is making conclusion. It is the step of technique of collecting data. And then the technique of analyzing the data, there are data reduction, display, conclusion, and verification. In data reduction, we selecting the data and reduce the data become a data display. After we got data display, we doing a verification to check the validity of the data, and then the last of it we create a conclusion of this research. Okay, I think it's all my presentation. Thanks for watching, and if I have mistake, I ask apologize. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.